Good morning. This is Ryan McDougle, the Senate Minority Leader for the Commonwealth of Virginia, here today with some friends from the Better Business Bureau to learn more about what they do and how they impact our community. So good morning to y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Why don't you introduce
We'll
yourselves?
Wave. You gotta wave. We're doing video. Right.
I'll go ahead and start. I'm Evie Kara-George, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB.
I'm Barry Moore, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau serving Central Virginia.
And I'm Crystal Sicurti, the General Manager.
Well, can you tell me, when did the Better Business Bureau start?
Since I'm the oldest in the room, I'll tell you because I'm closer. Ryan, it started, Senator, it started in 1912. We are a nonprofit, not a government agency, so we are not regulated by any government agency. We don't get funding from anyone. We are truly a nonprofit. We are international. We are in Canada and Mexico. Unfortunately, we had to close up Mexico about 2 years ago for obvious reasons. But we want a marketplace that starts with trust, and we push everybody, every consumer, to bbb.org.
So the Better Business Bureau, and I'll go ahead and explain, we are a nonprofit. So the way we get funded as a nonprofit is that we have our accredited businesses, after they go through the vetting process, they pay an annual fee for their accreditation. And we make sure that each year annually we are checking their licenses, making sure that they're responding to their complaints or even their reviews, and staying up to date with any requirements that they need as a business or within their industry.
Another question. So the BBB is not funded by the government. So what real authority or power do y'all have?
That's a good one for Crystal.
I wouldn't say that we have the authority as far as being regulated by the government or anything like that, but we do report on the information we receive from businesses and consumers, so the good and the bad. And that's really the important piece behind BBB, is you're hearing both sides, you're seeing the experience from the consumer, and then how the companies kind of address whatever issue that they've been brought.
The difference, just so everybody understands, is the companies that are accredited raise their hand, say they want to be looked at, they want to be checked out. We use, so you know, DPOR is a big influence with us, a big resource. They do an amazing job, by the way. It was funny, Carrie O'Brien, when she was at Channel 8, went after a story with a local scammer. It might have been $600,000, $800,000. And the guy came back to the marketplace in Chesterfield, and she was now over at DPOR. So she went from being a reporter over to DPOR. It's pretty funny. And now she's at the Employment Commission, which she's going to do great things there. And it was just funny, but we check licensing and insurance, and we use DPOR. So when we get a complaint, you know, most citizens, when they go to bbb.org, or companies, if you're a company, you have 500 vendors. Imagine the state, how many vendors you have. I couldn't even imagine on the state budget. But imagine checking everybody out. I know you guys go through, you check mark, they get different points for different types of businesses, however the algorithm works. But imagine if we threw in there bbb.org and the accreditation, what that would do, because we're doing the vetting. And a lot of people are using us for that. And so when a consumer reads something bad about my company, they're going to go away and they're going to go to these two companies that are accredited, and I'm not. And the companies that are accredited do respond. They do take the time to respond, even though we have no pull, but we do. We have a score, and we publish everything. So we can publish anything we want, just like Google.
Well, that's great. So can you tell me a little bit more about what are the benefits to consumers doing business with an accredited entity versus a non-accredited entity?
So what's great about doing business with an accredited entity, like you said, or accredited business, is you know you're not going to get scammed. We're making sure that they are upholding our own values as the Better Business Bureau, which is integrity, respect, honesty, and we start with trust. So we make sure that they are upholding those values as well. If you do so happen to experience a scam and they were not an accredited business, well, Barry likes to call it, don't cry over spilt milk, because we don't have any authority to do anything about that. As Barry says, we are an offensive player. So if you go to bbb.org and you choose to do business with an accredited business, you don't have that risk of being scammed.
And we have everybody, attorneys, dentists, doctors. Virginia Urology is accredited. Ortho Virginia is accredited. Massey Cancer Center is accredited. Dominion Energy is accredited. Law firms, Joel Bieber, Allen, Jeff McDonald, they're all accredited. And then there's every plumber, every tradesman, woman, they're all accredited. If they want to get that symbol or logo to put on their website and to tell people they start with trust.
Well, starting with trust, what information does the Better Business Bureau gather, and then how can people in the community access that business and do some research about a company when they see your logo on
That's
it?
a
After
perfect Crystal
18
question.
years, Crystal knows the answer.
So we gather the name of the company, where they're located, how many employees they have, what platforms they may be advertising on, their license information, who's the direct contact for the company, and then all of that information is viewable at bbb.org.
Should every company consider getting accredited?
Absolutely.
I believe so.
Without a doubt, not only to uphold those values, as I mentioned before, but also, why would you not want a community to trust you? Why would you not want to take care of your consumer to make sure that they're getting the job done that they want finished? They're making sure their roof is not going to fall on top of their head at night, or they're making sure that their teeth are clean and taken care of and not being neglected. And so that's why we do encourage all the businesses in the community to look at being accredited. And if you don't want to be accredited, then, well, it says something about your character as a business owner.
And it's not about money. We get funded strictly by accredited businesses and or donations, but it's for under 50 employees, or it's only $550 a year. So it's nothing different than a chamber event, and we don't have a lot of pay events. We have in here, you saw the space. We have now this Ignite program. We have the podcast open to the public. You met Mark from Tech from Troops. He just did a podcast with us on the way out. And our meeting room has been used by so many different organizations. The Attorney General has been the most giving of his time, and he's a resource for us, obviously, because if we don't prosecute anybody. We tell people to call the lawyer or call the Attorney General's office or DPOR. And he has been here, and we started the second Thursday in May. It was our inaugural one internationally, that instead of calling victims after they've been scammed or frauded, and it's billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars in scams and fraud. But he recognized a day we're going to call Survivor Day. And it's because victims of these big scams and they're mostly seniors, are becoming depressed. They live on their own, and it leads to depression and or suicide and early death. And we take it lightly, but we really shouldn't. And that's what Triad tries to bring out to the marketplace also.
What are some of the tools that the Better Business Bureau provides in our community?
Crystal, I'll let you take care of that one.
So our website hosts Scam Tracker, which I think is a great tool because it allows consumers and businesses to be able to take a look at what scams are going on within their direct zip code, their community, compare stuff. So if you see you've gotten a call from a number you're not sure of, they told you you'll get $5,000 if you do XYZ, you can go online and see that if someone else has also received that information. Of course, bbb.org also hosts business profiles. So you can see information on accredited businesses, non-accredited businesses, and choose who you really want to do business with.
And Scam Tracker has been funded to another level. We're a nonprofit, so another level by Amazon and Capital One, which is something to celebrate. I mean, especially right here in Virginia, and up in Arlington, I was at their corporate headquarters, their second corporate headquarters at Amazon, and then I was at with Capital One also. They're big players in this. So we've got a lot of other things we offer. Mostly our conversation coming up June 6th is going to be what causes, the question is, we're going to ask everybody that shows up, the public, what causes the mental health crisis. And they're going to sit around a table. If we got 50 people, they get 1 minute each, and they weigh in. And we're going to tape it on the owl here, and we're going to put it up with Evie's help onto YouTube, so everybody can start to have direct conversations instead of being distracted. All the beautiful galas, and we're spending thousands of dollars on these galas. Whereas if we could just help solve, whether it's the fentanyl crisis, mental health, housing issues, and or food, right? The food banks.
Family.
And Carl Leonard, was it?
Family.
As CT Woody, he's going to be one of the speakers. He always used to tell, when I used to go to the jail, he used to tell inmates it's about family. Go get your family back together or nothing's going to work. Carl Leonard has had enough. He just posted that the mental health facility seems to be coming to jails. So he's going to be outspoken about that at this meeting. And then we have Sarah Scarborough with Real Life and Joe Crawley. Debbie Johnson, nurse, and then Joe Crawley.
From the Coleman Institute.
Yeah, Coleman Institute. So that's our start. But we've done 3 or 4 months of these meetings. So I think this is going to be our biggest one. So that's what we do. Hope that helped you.
Well, that's great. Thank y'all for being on with me, and have a great day.
And thanks for
you.
taking your time to do this.